Good evening, everybody, from sunny Los Angeles, California, as UFL action continues on this evening as the Charlotte Royals visit the Los Angeles Aztecs. Good evening, everyone. I am Mike Dykes, and I am joined in the booth tonight by the one and only Joey Ramos-Lynn. Joey, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great. I mean, this is a very interesting matchup. We were talking in the pregame. Los Angeles highs are incredibly high. Like the best we've seen from the Aztecs, their championship material. But the lows, man, it just looks like this team is just fighting to at least get a first down. For Charlotte, they have a streak going on, and the Royals are looking good.
They do have a streak going on. You know, they started off the season 1-3. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak. And not only that, but they absolutely embarrassed Washington last week, you know, scoring 30 points on them, only allowing 3, and those 3 points didn't even come until the fourth quarter. Speaking of points not coming until the fourth quarter, though, Joey, Los Angeles, they lost to San Diego last week 20-17, and all 17 of those points didn't come until the fourth quarter. So they almost were able to come back, but it was certainly a rough start for them. And they're going to start this one on defense as Charlotte is on the field on offense. To start things off for us tonight, John Clements is the quarterback. He hands the ball off to Chris Curtis, who rushes for -1. And that is our first play on offense. Who else we got here on this offense, Joey? We've got James Cooley at wide receiver. We got Ianojo Abu Ratsabu, common spelling, also at wide receiver. Joseph Alexis is on defense. Ralph Leopold on defense as well, along with Don Johnson. We'll see them later on. Second down and 11 for the Royals. Clements in the shotgun. This time hands it off once again. Picking up a few yards, and we'll take a look at that starting offense for the Royals.
Yeah, and it's going to be key to see both number 4s at the tailback position. And, you know, we already talked about Chris Curtis. In the other side, Isaiah Fowler, also one electric running back. And you know, I think that the team that can establish the run best has a better chance of winning this ball.
They're down and 7, trying to avoid going on a quick 3-and-out. Clements has 7 business days to throw that pass, and it is picked off. All that time in the pocket, Joey, and he throws a pick 6. LA scores first.
And that speaks volumes about the secondary play on that one, Rihei, on that interception. Just a 4-man rush and doesn't get home. But those 7 guys in coverage, double coverage at that, as James Cooley gets tripped up trying to chase the safety. And what a start from the Aztecs. I mean, 2 guys defending 2 players. The pass intended to James Cooley, and a great interception for Los Angeles, returning for 6.
Absolutely. Rain Rie, the interception leader on this defense. That's his 7th on the season. As the extra point is up and good. 7-0 early on here for Los Angeles. It's always good when you can be leading 7-0 and your quarterback hasn't even left the bench yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we talked about Los Angeles starting slow in the past game. And this game, they start off with a bang. I mean, just a touchdown just a minute and a quarter in.
Second pick 6 on the season for the Aztecs as they are getting ready to kick the ball back off to Charlotte. LA actually leads the league in interceptions, 15 overall across the whole defense. And, you know, like I said, Rie now with 7 of them. He accounts for about half, if my math is mathing. Touchback on the kickoff, so John Clements will get another shot at it as he trots back out on the field. You see his stats on that first drive, Joey. That's not what you want to see.
No, not what you want to see. But again, you know, I think it's going to be more about establishing the run, at least on first down. Try to get a shorter second down and a shorter third down.
Well, they're going to go with this screen pass instead, and they continue to move the wrong way. That time it's a completion, but for -1. Similar way that their drive started the last time around. They ran for -1. Now they'll throw for -1. That particular play always seems to be really boom or bust. And, you know, -1, I'll call that one a bust.
Yeah, no, and it depends on, you know, how the corner plays it, right? If he leaves 10, 15 yards of separation, it can be a good play. But Really good job by Williams reading that one and making the tackle.
Ball is handed off right up the middle. Curtis, he's able to pick up about 6. So that should set them up with about a 3rd down and 4. And their first 3rd down of the ball game, Joey. That's when they threw that pick 6. So empty backfield now for Clements.
Yeah, looks like another 4-man rush here.
Clements throws over the middle, that time wide open, finds his target, a completion to the tight end, Dylan Boone. An unclaimed tight end, Joey. That's sacrilegious, in my opinion, to have unclaimed tight ends.
Yep. Yeah, and Boone has been solid. You know, we don't talk about him maybe as much as we talk about Alvarado Sabo or James Cooley, but, you know, he's a solid tight end, and he's been a solid tight end, especially during this streak of games that the Royals have been able to win.
Clements threw an interception last week as well. Also threw 2 touchdowns for 283 yards, 22 of 29. So pretty solid performance by him as he completes another one, getting another 1st down for the Royals. This time going out to tight end 2, also unclaimed, Cedric Craig.
Yeah, and Craig was just lined up against the linebacker, and, you know, it's not a bad matchup. You will consider that to be neutral, but good job on the drag route, getting separation.
Shotgun formation, bunch down to the bottom, wide open target on just a short hitch route. That one is complete, and we'll get a look at the starting defense here for Los Angeles. Cameron Curse, DJ Kilgannon, Michaela Forker, CJ Parrish, Scotty Scruggs, Marion Turner, Miguel Morales Woods, and of course, Rain Rie. Those are some of the user-controlled players here on the Aztec defensive squad. I'm sure we're going to see a whole bunch from all of them tonight. Clements throws a nice pass. Joey's finding some wide-open targets now. Looks like Aztec's playing some zone, and Clements is picking it apart.
Yeah, yes, he is. And actually, the tight end on a drag route was also wide open, but he decided to go with a dig route, which was open a little further downfield. So really good job here by Charlotte, as it looks like Clements has finally settled down into this ball game.
Cooley with the reception, only 1 catch for 6 yards in the shellacking of Washington last week. Already 1 catch for 17 in this one. 1st down and 10 inside the red zone. Clements going end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown, and the Royals are able to strike back.
Yeah, wow, what a catch. What a great throw by Clements first and foremost. But James Cooley mossing the defender. It was one-on-one coverage, and you just trust your star receiver to go make the play. I don't know if the second foot came in bounds, Mike, but that is close. Let's see on the replay. We may see a review by the booth.
Right foot definitely down. I couldn't quite see the left foot. We are going to see a booth review.
The previous play is under review.
That's what we said. All right, so there's the right foot. Did he get the I don't think the left foot comes down, but did the right knee get down? Oh, no, I don't think so.
I think it was out of bounds.
Let's see what the ref has to say about it. And they're going to say the ruling on the field stands. That's very surprising.
It is, you know, and it was close. I think I think the evidence was there to overturn it, but you know, you get taught as a referee, if it's not 100% obvious, then you can just, you know, keep the play as it stood. You know, if the pass was ruled incomplete, it will stay incomplete, I think.
The only thing that I could think is maybe the side of his shin was down. You know, if you're just talking about the bottom of your foot, you need both feet in bounds, but pretty much any other part of the body other than the palm kind of counts as being down. So, you know, if his shin had hit in bounds as well, maybe that counted as 2. I don't know. That's why we're up here and not wearing zebra stripes down there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And regardless, you know, Charlotte with a really good drive, responding after that pick 6, very much needed here on the road.
All right, so finally we'll see the Aztec offense. Oh, wow, that was a punishing hit. as that return is taken up to the 23-yard line. And the quarterback coming out onto the field, Marco Swift, the 6'5" quarterback. Man, imagine having a 6'5" quarterback, Joey.
Yeah, it must be nice. And he's been good. He's been good this year. He's been able to find the open receivers more often than not. But number 4 is the big-time player in the backfield.
Well, play action to Fowler, and Swift is going to run it himself. All sorts of open room. Breaks a tackle inside the 30 and pushed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. A 54-yard rush for Marco Swift.
And that's kind of the benefit of having a pretty tall quarterback at 6'5". You know, against the smaller corner, no chance, as he just stiff arms him into next week. And Swift with one of the biggest rushes we've seen maybe this season here in the UFL. His previous long this year was 15 yards.
It sure was. He has had 11 carries for 73 yards total on the season. Now he's eclipsed 100. Fowler gets the first carry, and maybe they should just run Swift some more. Fowler picks up only a couple on that one. Let's take a look at the starting offense here for the Aztecs. You've heard of Marco Swift and Isaiah Fowler. Who else they got? Iggy Turner, Miles Morales Woods, Lars Bazar, Xander Orion, Liam Swift. That is your user players here for the Aztecs. Swift in the shotgun. As time throws over the middle and into the end zone for the touchdown. A quick strike to Morales Woods.
Oh, that didn't take very long here for the Aztecs, as they are able to find the open guy. Really good blocking by the offensive line, and a phenomenal throw by Swift, who just had a sensational first drive of the game.
He sure did. I mean, you know, just rushing down the field, then handing it off to Fowler for a few yards, then finishing it off through the air to Morales Woods. His 3rd touchdown reception on the season. And that puts the Aztecs back out in front. 3 plays, 76 yards, only took a minute 6 off the clock. We've had 3 touchdowns. We're halfway through quarter number 1.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much as we expected, right? A couple of offenses, then when they're hot, they're really, really hot. And I know that one was a pick 6, but, you know, 14-7 here just midway through the first quarter, not even. You know, if you got the over, I think you're in a pretty good spot.
Charlotte Royals getting ready to get another shot at it on offense. Their 3rd offensive possession now. Those of you who joined late, the first touchdown of the ball game was scored by Rain Rie, the Aztecs strong safety, who picked off Clements on the opening possession, ran it into the end zone for the touchdown. This kick will be a kneel down. Ball will come out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and then just going to give a little bit of more info on Swift's carry. 54 yards, the longest run by any quarterback so far this season in the UFL, and the 19th longest by any player in the UFL.
Incredible. It was fun to watch. Here's another nice run. Marquise Watts with a 12-yard scamper. He gets up to about the 38-yard line. Turner with the tackle. Your bingo numbers at the bottom of the screen. If you're playing UFL bingo, make sure you're updating your bingo cards.
And both offensive lines having a strong start of this game. Even on the pick 6, I mean, they gave Clements all day to throw. So both O-lines with a very strong start.
High formation, another screen pass down to the bottom. And that one goes for a positive yard that time, but still it's, you know, like I said, Joey, I don't know. I always look at that play as kind of a boom or bust, and 1-yard gain's not really what you're looking for out of it.
You really need some blocking in there, so you kind of run it from like a bunch formation or something similar.
Clements throws and gets that one out to the tight end again, Dylan Boone. He'll actually lose a yard. Now a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Charlotte doesn't want to be in, because like the Aztec defense is very opportunistic. I mean, they do have Rie, who has a bunch of interceptions this season. We have not even talked about the other secondary players who've come up big in big moments all year long. It's a very strong unit that knows how to catch the ball when it hits their hands.
Keeping the offense kind of bunched together here. 2 receivers left, 2 right, but all close to the line. Clements has all day again, heaves it 100 yards downfield, and that one's out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say he caught it. Boom
So
with the catch.
Yeah, we have to see the replay again on this one. I don't know if this angle will help us a whole lot. Good protection, give it to Clements. And there on the sideline is Boone. We're looking at 89. I think he caught it.
I think he did. I might have been off with my 100-yard estimate. That was about 45, I think. 3 catches for 56 yards. I'm still thinking metric system. It's throwing off my conversions. Chris Curtis with another carry. He's got 4 rushes now. That one gains him another yard. Second down at 9.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real system, so I don't blame you. 1 yard here for Curtis. I'm expecting another run here on 2nd and 9. Okay.
Play action. 0 for 1 on your predictions. Completion over the middle, though, to Abu Ratzabu. First down and goal for the Royals.
It's a very concept that you will see in a team like the NFL, for example, like the 49ers. You know, they do the play action from an I formation or a strong I, and they run that dig route. It's right in front of the safeties, behind the linebackers. And, you know, 49ers normally do it with guys such as Deebo Samuel, for example, or Brandon Ayuk, Abu Ratzabu on the receiving end on that one.
First and goal from the 5. Clements drops back, throws up top. Somebody's open, but he drops the ball. He's trying to get it back out to Cooley for touchdown number 2. But he drops it, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and he caught the most difficult one, the one that was plaster all over him, the defender plaster all over him. And that one was actually pretty open. That's a great route by Cooley, but unable to come up with a catch.
Clements, play action to Curtis. Flag on the play, and that one is batted down. We'll see what the call is. Marion Turner with the bat down and then holding on the offense. So that backs them up to the 15-yard line, 2nd down and goal.
It makes this very difficult.
Clements throws to the bottom. Oh, I thought that one was about to get picked off. Tried to hit Curtis, but Curtis can't haul that one in. And, you know, Joey, does it make it more difficult, though? Because now, you know, I mean, when you're play calling from the 5-yard line versus the 15, doesn't this open it up a little bit more?
It does. You just don't want to throw into, like, double coverage or something.
Clements throws, end zone, back corner, incomplete. Nearly was able to haul that one in, but now they'll have to settle for a field goal try. Yeah, it's always kind of a mixed bag of nuts. Like when you're talking about your play calling, if you're all the way down to the 5-yard line, you know, it's like a wall. There's like an imaginary wall right there at that back of that end zone, and you can't use any of your plays that send somebody more than 15 yards because they're going to be out of bounds. So, you know, sometimes it's almost even more beneficial for the offense to back them up. But to your point, you know, when it's 3rd and goal from the 15, that also kind of limits you as to what you can do as well. Field goal try is good, so Charlotte will cut into Los Angeles' lead, now trailing by 4, and the Aztecs will get another shot at it.
And that was Marion Turner with the swat in the pass deflection, expertly played. You know, that was not even close to a PI, just getting great position and swatting the ball out. And Los Angeles is able to keep the lead 14-10, but a really, really exciting first quarter.
Very much so. As your updated bingo numbers on the screen, still 2.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. Relatively high scoring game, Joey, and those are always the most fun ones to call from a broadcasting standpoint.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. By the way, 18th made field goal by TJ Douglas this year, and leads the league.
Leads the league indeed, which is always helpful. It's helpful for your your offense when you have a kicker that, hey, if your offense sputters out, you almost can just guarantee that you're going to get 3 points out of it as long as you get it close.
Yes, for sure. So it's such a huge help. Like, you know, if you can get it to the 30-yard line, you basically have 3 points on the bank.
No punting yet in this ball game. It's been 5 drives. There's been scores on all of them for scoring drives in particular. And then, of course, that fifth, or I should say really the first drive of the game, was a pick six. So still points to be had, as every drive has yielded points in some fashion. We've seen touchdowns, on offense. We've seen field goal. We've seen some pick six. It's little of everything, unless you're a fan of punters, in which case you're kind of strange. High formation now on 2nd and 13. Play action. Swift has time. Goes up top. Wide open target. Catching the ball and falling out of bounds after a gain of about 11. 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, it's Turner on the catch. Again, beautiful protection given to Swift. And, for Fowler, let's see if they give the ball to him. Fowler is more so like your north-south guy with speed.
Swift's going to play action that one again, throwing it into triple coverage. Questionable play call there, Joey. He's 2 for 2 on his first couple passes, and I would have loved to see him give Fowler a shot there on 2 yards to go, or even just dump it down to him. You just saw in that replay, he was wide open. He would have picked up 2.
Yeah, and on a 3rd and 2, you see something more like, a drag route, maybe past the flat, something that you just can get your head of the sticks. But they throw it into the teeth of the defense into triple coverage, to your point.
Middle linebacker Don Johnson with the swat down there.
Yeah, there's not good. In the first punt of the game, so also punters play here.
There you go. Jimmy Smith, the punter. Oh, excuse me, that's the Charlotte punter. Nick Burke is the punter for the Aztecs. John Clements, updated stats, 10 of 14, 124 yards, a touchdown and a pick, resulting in 6. Now trailing by 4, back in possession of the football from the 20-yard line after that touchback. Clements hands it off to Curtis, who runs about 6 yards before he gets hit. 2nd down and 5, as he actually only made it 5 yards.
And after his first throw of the game, Clements has been on point. That throw to Cooley should have been a touchdown. He dropped it, but he's been very accurate.
Clements down to the bottom, and that one is picked off. It looked like he threw it right to the Aztecs defender, and guess who? Rain Rie, the interception leader here on this Aztec defense, picks off Clements for the 2nd time in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, that was a terrible throw. As soon as we give him some praise, he just throws his worst pass of the night. That was just a floater, and when you do that, you're just asking for it to be picked.
Looked like Rie was the receiver, and Boone was, trying to swat that one down. Rie, he leads the league in interceptions now with 8 on the season, and he's averaging a pick a game. This is game number 8. And he's got a pick in, averaging a pick in all of them. So now back onto the field on offense goes the Aztecs as Swift throws that one down to the bottom and completes it. Gets it into the hands of Iggy Turner. Picks up another 1st down.
It's just a great route. It's a comeback route. Great timing by Marco Swift on that one. Excuse me, that was an out route. A great throw by Swift. Just awesome timing, and the Aztecs are in business.
1st down for LA. You see total yardage difference between these 2 teams. Charlotte with about 50 more yards, but 4 less points, and wide open. You're going to leave them that wide open. You're going to be giving up some big yardage. Lars Bazar picks up 8.
Yeah, and it's just a quick stick route, just about 3-4 yards. Turn and get the ball.
First quarter is in the books. 3 to go. 14-0. LA out in front and in possession of the football in scoring range. Watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Joey Ramos-Lynn. And that is Fowler trying to get into the end zone, but instead he'll pick up the 1st down. 1st and goal from about the 1-yard line.
And then Fowler is, again, that back that is just shot out of a cannon. He doesn't truck many people or stiff arm many people. He's just pure speed.
Swift hands it off. Fowler, head taken off right at the goal line. just absolutely leveled.
What a play. 2nd and goal. Let's see if they go under center. They will.
Oh, they will. Fowler in the backfield. Tight ends flanking the offensive line. They hand it off to Fowler. This time he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Aztecs. They extend their lead by 6.
And this is the high-level Aztecs that we're seeing tonight. As I said, you know, when the Aztecs are on it, they're really, really on it. 21 points here in just about a quarter and a minute. And that is close, but in the second effort, he gets there before the knee touches down.
I think he actually scored that one twice, if you will. I think when he reached his arm out, he scored before getting hit. And then, you know, they let the play continue. Don Johnson had hit him, but then he, you know, said, you know, I'm just going to keep on trying to run and get this in again, just in case, just to be safe. Extra point is through, 21-10. Now out in front is the Aztecs. On pace to put up a whole bunch of points in this one as the second quarter just got started.
Like a 73 stack burger so far, but you know, I think Charlotte's offense, you know, will also respond, and you know, defensively, eventually they will come up with a pretty big play.
You always talk about points off turnovers being a tremendous part of a team's ability to win a game, and so far tonight, the LA Aztecs have scored 14 points off of 2 interceptions, both hauled in by Rain Rie, one of which was brought back for the touchdown by Rie, and the second one led to that drive that you just witnessed, which of course ended with an Isaiah Fowler touchdown. Clemens updated stats 10 of 15, 124, 1 touchdown, but those 2 picks are the difference in this one, Joey.
Yeah, that's 14 points in just a matter of a couple of plays.
All right, Clemens will continue to throw. Wow. Jumping up to try to make that catch, but pass is broken up and incomplete. You know, you look at the 2 teams, and you know, we just saw the Aztecs drive. The one main difference I noticed, Swift was finding some wide open receivers. Clement seems to be trying to find people that are going to have to make circus catches every single time. Curtis picks up about a yard, but if you've been seeing that too, like Cooley, he's been targeting Cooley, but it's like Cooley's triple covered.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the throws to Alvarado and those screen passes, the corner is right there to make the tackle.
They're down to 10 already. This drive at risk of being done soon. Gonna throw it about 20 yards downfield. There we go again. Double coverage and picked off again. Parrish this time with the interception. The linebacking crew getting involved.
The linebacker just dropping back into a, you know, sideline zone. I mean, it's not something you see very common with defenses. Normally the linebackers are covering inside the hash marks. And the way he's able to stay step by step with Cooley, jump up, and come away with the interception, unbelievable.
First time all season that Clemens has thrown 3 interceptions in a game. And Joey, the scary part about that is it's still very early here in quarter number 2, and he's already thrown 3 picks.
Yeah.
So Marco Swift back out on the field on offense, and there's a shining example of my point. You know, right there, he's able to find Miles Morales Woods, and even though he got hit quickly, when he caught the ball, nobody was around him.
No, it's clean, like, openings here for the receiver so far.
Swift again finds a wide open target, and this time gets some nice yak on top of it as Lars Bizarre hashtag throw it to the tight end. That should be trending, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're like, oh, stop.
And now let's get some balance. Let's give it to Fowler a little bit.
Swift agrees, hands it off to Fowler. Nifty spin move, picks up about 5. 6 rushes, only 8 yards, but the thing that really matters, he's got that touchdown on the last possession.
Yeah, and that's really, and you can run it more so for the yards. It's just to keep the Charlotte defense guessing.
Hey, watch the slant. Ready.
Swift sends Bizarre in motion. Play action to Fowler this time. Throws downfield, finds an open target, gets it out to the 20-yard line, and another first down for the Aztecs.
Yeah, that's why you run it. You know, it opens up the play action that the Aztecs are very good at converting, and you know, it's a long game. You're also thinking of the long game, just not play by play.
Swift to Fowler. Fowler with the move, picks up 3. Second down and 8.
Charlotte is able to get a stop here defensively. It will only be 2 possessions, still with plenty of time here in the second quarter. So
Fowler running a stretch play off to the left. Juked left when maybe he should have juked right. No gain on the play, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the example, right? He's more of a north-south runner. When he goes east to west, you know, his ball carrier vision maybe is not completely there.
Swift on 3rd down. Fires right over the middle. Wide open. Open for days. Fancher the second with the catch. 1st and goal.
And I don't know if they have this on their playbook. I really don't remember seeing it much, but I would like to see the Aztecs throw a wrinkle of a read option in here, right? Let's just put Swift in the shotgun right alongside Fowler and, you know, just taking a Fowler, taking himself.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Swift run earlier in the ball game, and he ran for about 54 yards, if I remember correctly. So, you know, he's got the wheels. Hands it off to Fowler. No, play action, rolls out right, throws over the middle. That one's incomplete. Just trying to find a big target there in the end zone. Iggy Turner, I believe, was the intended target. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and to be fair, Turner was pretty open. It was a good route by Turner, good play fake. That was an errant throw by Swift.
Swift in the gun. It's got Fowler, but no. Throws into coverage, and it's intercepted. And Charlotte finally is able to get a turnover of their own. Cut into that turnover differential. And they'll take over. They at least prevent more points from going up on the board to keep themselves in this one.
Yeah, and that's basically what we were talking about as far as the back line acting as another defender. You know, the receiver couldn't stretch his route even deeper because there's the back line. And Charlotte with 2 defenders, that's a huge interception in this ball game. They really needed that one.
Clements with 3 interceptions, almost all effectively in 1 quarter. Now starting off 1st and goal with this one. Play action and throwing that one down to the turf.
So we're going to get an explanation here in a bit. You know, of course, you know, a game glitch. We're going to roll along.
2nd down and goal now from the 9. Clements throws into the end zone, nearly threw another interception. That was almost his 4th on the day. 3rd down and goal. Clements once again in the gun from the 9. Looks, fires down to the bottom and into the end zone for a Charlotte touchdown. And they're able to cut back into that lead with that catch and score by Walker.
Yeah, and for really one of the very few times in this game, able to find a wide open receiver. That's what we were talking about. You know, it's basically been, you know, jump balls and just make miracle catches. But Walker able to just run completely away from the defense.
Extra point pending. They'll cut this back down to a 1-score ball game, and you know, more capitalizing off of turnovers, which is what the Aztecs were able to do a couple of times. Now Charlotte's able to do it. 21-17 now the score in this one. LA still out in front. We'll send it over to our AI expert, Cameron Irvine. Obviously, you know, a little confusing situation there after the interception where the ball was spotted for Charlotte.
Yeah, we've never seen that before in the year and a half that we've been doing this. My guess is that it placed it on the other yard line from where the ball was intercepted from, right, where the play was. They just put it on the other one instead of the 20. I'm not sure if we can fix that, but I mean, we're certainly going to look into it. You know, every game has its idiosyncrasies. We deal with all blitz in the SFL, and that was an odd one for sure, and something we don't want to see. Hopefully we're able to correct it, but no, that's the first time I've ever seen that in a UFL game or testing otherwise. So tough break for Los Angeles, but they just have to bounce back, and good on Charlotte for taking advantage of that opportunity.
All right, thank you, Cam. Yeah, Joey, I'm glad he explained that actually happened, because for a second I thought I had a stroke.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I was like, wait a second.
And, you know, just as a reminder for just everybody as well, I'll say after this play.
Swift continues to find wide open targets, gets that one back out to Bizarre.
And every game has its quirks. Every game has its, you know, glitches and its, you know, things that are imperfect. You know, as Cam was saying, you know, we saw in the SFL championship game, you know, that all blitz, and then the receiver just showboating before getting into the end zone, getting tackled before the end zone. You know, so those are things that we just see in video games, and, you know, just live with them. You know, hopefully we don't see it again. We don't see it the whole season and for the, you know, seasons to come in the UFL. But, you know, that could have easily, I mean, the way I look at it, maybe Charlotte gets the interception and returns it all the way to the 9. I mean, probably the defender had, you know, enough space. So
there you go. Fowler hit right at the line of scrimmage. They'll spot him a 1-yard gain, 2nd down and 9. You know, and I hope everybody that thinks that someday AI might take over the world and replace all the humans looks at games like this in the SFL championship and says, well, maybe not. Maybe not. Swift over the middle. That one's complete, getting it across the 50-yard line into Royals territory. You know, listen, humans aren't perfect. Computers aren't perfect.
Yep.
Terrazas, not perfect. Started heading to the bench too soon, Joey.
Yeah. He thought he had a touchdown, and
He did. He did not. He did not. There was no signal given, and he's like, I'm gonna keep this ball. Okay.
Yeah, he had the ball in his right hand, and, you know, he kind of like sidestepped with, you know, from his left shoulder, and the ball wasn't in. So
I'm just glad he didn't drop it, thinking he was across the line. Anyway, back to this one. Fowler with the carry. You know, he's only averaging about 1 yard per carry, a little over 1 yard per carry. Still does have that touchdown, but, you know, I'm waiting to see him break one through. He's got some speed. I know you said he's more of a power runner, but, you know, as soon as he finds some open field, I'm sure he's going to get some big chunk yardage here.
yeah, he's more of a north-south like scat back or elusive back, right? It's just he's gonna turn the corner more than just, you know, again, as you can see on that play, maybe he passed the first defender, but, you know, it's better when you just work with him in the open field and just can get some really good blocks.
Second tackle for a loss for Don Johnson, the middle linebacker, number 59. Able to bring Fowler down.
Yeah, you know, think of somebody like in the NFL, like, I don't know, Darren Sproles back in the day with the Chargers and the Saints, right? He's just kind of like the quick back.
Darren Sproles. I forgot about Sproles. Swift down to the bottom. That one is broken up. Tried to get Fowler involved in the pass game. I like the concept, Joey. You think of a play like that as more of a long handoff, get him out in space, but well defended by the Royals.
And the Royals have done a phenomenal job. I mean, Fowler is averaging 4.3 yards per carry this year, which is, you know, pretty good average. And they're pretty much shutting him down. You know, I think Charlotte said if we are going to stop anything today, it's going to be Isaiah Fowler.
Fowler frustrated in the chat says, just kick me to the curb, Aztecs ain't good at run protecting. Did you hear the 4.3 yards per carry that you're averaging this season? Did you see the touchdown that you got? Did you see the championship ring on your hand?
Yeah, I mean, and he's still a really good back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a great back.
One game, you know, subpar half, you know, does not define anybody. So
there will be no kicking to the curb, Fowler.
Oh,
See, look at that. Chris Curtis can run the wrong way, too. 2-minute warning here in the first half. Aztecs out in front, but nursing a lead now as the Royals back in possession of the football. They've got an opportunity to take the lead here before the half comes to an end.
you know, and for Los Angeles, they do have 3 timeouts. So if you can get a stop here on second down, make it third. Don't be surprised if Los Angeles calls a timeout.
Clements throws in the double coverage. Joey, it's driving me nuts. There was a wide open target right over the middle of the field. Clements chooses the one that's covered by 2 guys.
Yeah, no, you trust your receivers, but one thing is that, and another thing is just playing with fire, and that fire has burned Clements 3 times so far this game.
Gonna hand that one off to Curtis. 2 hands for safety. And timeout called now by LA. They want to try to conserve some time as it's 4th down, and they'll get the ball back.
Yeah, and the way they've been playing, I don't blame it at all. I mean, they will have pretty decent field position. They should have the ball somewhere around their own 40-yard line in midfield, I will say. And so with 1:51 and 2 timeouts, that's plenty of time to at least get a field goal on the board.
Visit the YouTube channel of Green Gridiron, who launched a collaboration with the UFL that will bring all 32 teams. Oh, the ball finally down. I was like, wait a sec. All 32 teams to life with full-size helmet replicas. It's just the first way that the UFL is bringing these teams to life. Let's make it real. Or they make it real, and so do all of you. For more info on all their amazing products Green Gridiron has to offer, visit greengridiron.com. Swift in the gun, throws that one complete over the middle.
The receiver, and I will go with a no huddle here. Don't call a timeout. There's no need for it. Just do a quick huddle. Get back on the ball.
Swift, very short drop, drops a little more. Heaves it up top, wide open, catching, stepping out of bounds. A perfect play call for the Aztecs as they get the first down and stop the clock with 1:18.
Yeah, and they get over 200 yards here offensively in the game. It's been a really strong game by Swift. Other than that interception, really been a strong game by Marcus Swift.
Swift, quick pass down to the bottom, tackled at the 40 inbounds. 2 timeouts remaining, but plenty of time, 1:10 on the clock and rolling.
2nd and 3, just get back on the ball. Another quick huddle. No need to call any timeouts.
Swift over the middle. That one's tipped in, almost caught off the deflection, but it falls to the turf, 3rd and 3.
That would have been one of the best plays of the UFL this year. I mean, he almost alley-ooped it to himself for potentially a touchdown. Charlotte, very lucky that was incomplete.
Swift on 3rd and 3, finds his target so wide open. Morales Woods all the way down to the 11, and a timeout called by the Aztecs.
Yeah, you call timeout, you have 1 left, and that is a huge play here for Los Angeles, because with 43 seconds and you have less than 20 yards to go, that's all day. I mean, that's all the time in the world that you need with a timeout to try to put 7 on the board. We were thinking about 3, they can score 7.
What we got?
First down and 10 now from the 11. Swift fires back of the end zone, nearly intercepted. Threw that right into the waiting hands of a defender. Sean Griffin, the free safety, could have picked that off.
Very nearly 39 seconds left. You can even run the ball if you are Los Angeles. You don't have to throw it here.
Swift has time, fires short of the end zone, gains only about 4 yards. 3rd down and 6. Clock continues to roll, 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, you don't call it because if you don't convert, you don't want to leave Charlotte with enough time to put points on the board.
Swift in the gun, looks, fires back of the end zone, incomplete. Almost had that one into his receiver's hands. Fancher was the intended target. 4th down, they'll have to settle for a field goal try, but it'll put them back up by a full touchdown.
And it's just, well, good defensive play, actually. I was going to say it's just a drop by Fancher, but no, at the very end, actually good defensive play by the Royals. And they will limit the damage, and it's going to be a one-possession game, presumably, going into the half.
Field goal try is up and good. 24-17. Now the Aztecs out in front as we get our updated bingo numbers. But Joey, this has been a very up-and-down game. At the beginning of it, Los Angeles looked like they were just in full control. They were the potent Aztecs that you talked about at the beginning, where they either, their ceiling is really high and their low is right down there at the floor. It just depends on the week. And this one looked like it was all going to be highs. They're getting picks. They're getting pick sixes. They're, just, what was it, a 3-play, like, easy-looking opening drive when they actually did get out there on offense. But since that time, Charlotte kind of clawing their way back into it, only trailing by a touchdown now.
It's the inconsistencies of Los Angeles. Not only, because when you see inconsistencies on a football team, normally it goes game by game. With the Aztecs, it goes quarter by quarter. Like, you don't know really what to expect one quarter to the next.
Pass complete, and a flag. I think he tackled him by the face mask.
I think he did, and that's a big play because with 2 seconds left, you still have a chance to throw it out there up for grabs, or even try to kick a 58-yard field goal here if you trust it. But regardless, it gives the offense a chance to do something.
Yeah, from the 41, I think, they'll stick to an offensive play. Would have been about a 58-yard field goal try. So Clements, final play, pending a defensive penalty, decides to just check it down effectively and just pad those stats just a little bit more. As the first half comes to a close, 24-17, the Aztecs out in front in this one. Los Angeles getting on the board first and able to basically maintain that lead throughout the game so far. But Charlotte, they're not done. They're not going to go quietly. They're going to keep on fighting and see what they're able to do with this one. Joey, your thoughts on the first half so far?
Yeah, it started great for Los Angeles, of course, with that pick six and then getting the ball again and scoring a touchdown. But not before Charlotte was able to put some points on the board. So, we've seen great defensive plays from the Aztecs. You see one of them right there. That was the pick six, as well as the other interception that Rie got. And then the linebacker, just a phenomenal interception near the sideline. And for Charlotte, again, the highs for John Clemens have been really high. He's been able to put the ball in really tight windows. And James Cooley has had a decent game, a drop in here and there, but also a phenomenal touchdown, and they will need more of him here in the second half.
Okay, we'll pause briefly for UFL League rights.
This presentation of the UFL is intended for the private use of our audience. Any accounts or descriptions of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
And welcome back for the start of the third quarter. I am Mike Daggs. He is Joey Ramos-Lynn. Aztecs will start with the ball here in half number 2. Putting up 24 points in the first half. That's pretty darn good as they're able to, score offensively, defensively, and special teamsedly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been swift. Again, only one run. That was a huge run in the first quarter. Oh.
Green pass. Good for -2. As that one went the wrong way. Swift it's been finding wide open targets all night. Technically that was a wide open target, but his receiver basically stood there and watched the two incoming defenders and said, well, this isn't good.
Yeah, I just finished the thought. It will be interesting to see if Swift actually tucks it and runs it again here in the second half. It could be a backbreaker play if he decides to do so later on.
Swift is going to hand this one off. That's not Fowler. It's Adam Noel. who was able to pick up 6 yards on his first carry of the ball game. 3rd down and 5, and a big opportunity for the Royals if they can get LA off the field on a quick 3 and out to start the 3rd quarter. Swift in the gun, steps up in the pocket, steps back, sacked but fumbles the football, recovered by the Aztecs, but then they lose even more yards. 4th and 16.
Great play by Charlotte. I mean, sounds cliche, but yes, exactly what they needed. It was quarters coverage on that one by the defense. So, each corner covers one side, and then the safeties cover the middle. Nobody open, and the pressure gets home to force the strip sack of Swift. A little bit loose on the ball, and then luckily for them, the O-lineman is able to pounce on it.
4th sack for Leopold this season. And that one is, like you said, a strip sack. Punt is now away. Nick Burke kicks that one inside the 30 and returned up to the 38-yard line by Timbers. All right, let's look at Clement's updated numbers. 13 of 23, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, but those 3 interceptions. Although, Joey, he had those 3 interceptions fairly early on and then seemed to keep it clean for the rest of the 2nd quarter. See what he's able to do here in the 3rd quarter. Starts things off by nearly throwing a pick 6, Joey. I thought that was going to the house.
I thought so too for like split second, and then the other split second I thought it was going to be a catch and a big gain. So first lucky Charlotte on, that wasn't intercepted, and then lucky Los Angeles that wasn't caught.
Clements, play action. Oh, he did the read option that you were hoping for, but you asked for the Aztecs to do it. The Royals do it, and they lose a couple yards. 3rd and 14.
Yeah, and really good gap control strikes here with the tackle coming on a blitz, not getting fooled by the halfback. He knows the other defender has the halfback, and his responsibility is the quarterback, and is able to make the TFL. 3rd and 14, and this is where the Aztec defense just eats.
Clements in the gun, has time, throws up top. It's complete, well short of the line to gain. In fact, I think he only gained 3 yards on the play. Clements at least completing that pass, though, Joey. He's now 14 of 25 on the night. On the season, he's 4th in completion percentage with 72%, barely completing half the passes tonight, though.
Yeah, the Aztecs have done a terrific job so far in this game. Hey, but for Clemens, that's better than throwing the interception that he threw 3 times in the first half. So, the defense of Charlotte played well in the first possession, and they will have to trust on their defense a little bit more.
Clements with only 5 interceptions all season coming into tonight, and he's on pace to double that. Wow, phenomenal punt as that one falls down at the 3 and basically just dies. Jimmy Smith pins them inside the 5. Aztecs have a long field ahead of them now.
They do, and this is a great opportunity for Charlotte to, dare I say, get a safety, perhaps. I mean, they already got to Swift on the previous drive. Isaiah Fowler has not had the best of games, so we'll send at least a guy on a blitz.
Trying to get a little bit of running room is Noel. He'll pick up 3 yards. 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Noel is kind of like their power back, a little bit slower, but maybe a little bit stronger, and just to get him enough room here on 2nd and 7.
Swift hands this one off, and Fowler's able to gain a couple. 3rd down and 5. See what they're able to do on this one.
Yep, 2nd in the UFL for Jimmy Smith, and punt average, almost 56 yards a punt.
Yeah, I believe it.
Terrific.
Swift steps up, fires deep down the right side, and finds Fowler wide open for a big catch down the sideline. That's a very creative way to convert a 3rd and 5 from your own 5.
Yes, it is, and we talk about the comparison with Darren Sproles. That's basically what he did as well, getting out of the backfield and catching passes. That's, I think, a wheel route, and the defense was not accounting for him all the way to the 40-yard line. That's a linebacker against Isaiah Fowler on a route and a deep route. That's not gonna cut it. Longest reception for Fowler this season. His previous long, an 18-yarder.
So when Fowler is struggling in the run game, just throw it to him.
Yeah.
Worked to perfection. First down and 10 from their own 40. Swift with a quick drop back, throws up top. That one is complete. Very short gain on the play. Gets it out to Iggy Turner. Second down and 7. Turner with now 42 yards on 5 catches tonight.
You know, get ahead of the sticks, right? Make it a 2nd and 7 much better than having a 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 12. So it's not a play that's going to make the highlight reel, but it makes your drives more, it makes your drives easier to keep trucking along.
11 personnel on the field. Turner goes in motion. Fowler trying to run to the sideline. This time finally gets some room around the edge as the blocking held up for him. Picks up 6, 3rd and 1. And Joey, if I was them, I'd just kind of hurry themselves right back to the line, keep that same defense out there and just hand it out to Fowler. But instead, they're spreading them out in the gun.
You can still give it to Noel here. Actually, they won't.
Swift decides to throw to a wide open Turner down the field. Keeps the drive alive.
And it's such a challenging play to convert as a defense, to be fair. I mean, it's 3rd and 1. You have to make sure to account for the run. You have to make sure to account for, a drag route or a screen or something like that. And so sometimes those deep throws, intermediate deep throws on 3rd and short are the most effective just because it's something that you don't expect as a defense.
Swift under center on 1st down. Play action. Quick pass over the middle. And the incredible ability to just keep finding wide open targets continues as he's able to get that one complete and move the chains again.
Yeah, and again, it's that play action going into the dagger. I mean, it's one of those where you just want to freeze the linebackers for half a second, and then that opens up the room for the receiver, to just run right behind them.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line, inching closer to the end zone. Play action again. Swift rolls out right, throws end zone. That one's caught. Touchdown, Aztecs. Devin Miles with the touchdown.
And what a job by Miles coming back to the football. I mean, that is all on the receiver, to be fair, because he's coming back to the ball. If he doesn't do that, that's probably an interception, but he knows. He has the presence of mind just to, get back to his quarterback and catch the ball, maybe even stealing a touchdown from his teammate. But Los Angeles will take that, and now they have 30-plus on the board. First touchdown of the year for Miles.
And the extra point is good. So, Joey, we were very impressed with Jimmy Smith's punt, getting the Aztecs all the way down to their own 3-yard line. But the Aztecs said, that's fine. 97 yards later, we'll just punch it into the end zone for a touchdown. And now extending their lead 31-17, an impressive 97-yard drive.
Yeah, and obviously the game is far from over, but that has to be demoralizing for Charlotte. I mean, we were talking about maybe getting even a safety
right
that 1st down, and next thing you know, you're down 14 points.
So John Clements is going to have some work to do to get his team back in this one now trailing, well, once again by a couple of scores. Yeah, Charlotte, they've been able to hang in there, but now a little over midway through quarter number 3, there's only going to be so much time left in the game before they're not able to, keep themselves in it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about these teams in Southern California, both San Diego and Los Angeles, over the last couple of games? They've shown great efficiency on offense and great defense and takeaways.
Clements play action. He's going to run with it, and he slides for safety. He's able to regain the yardage that he lost. Joey picks up 5. Second down and 5.
And of course, I'm talking about San Diego, who had an incredible performance against Rochester just a few days ago.
Clements throws. That one is incomplete. Week 8 in the UFL continues Sunday, headlined by the Wichita Flyers and the Salt Lake Hornets. In primetime, game night features Miami, Washington, Motor City, Albuquerque, and Houston, New Orleans. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Sunday right here on the Virtual Football Network. 3rd down and 5. Clements has time, heaves it down the middle into triple coverage, and it's incomplete. There had to be somebody else. There had to be somebody else open, Joey.
I think so, but hey, that was an attempt. I mean, maybe not. I mean, Curtis and Navarrazzo, but we're running basically the same pattern, and they were next to each other, so nobody was open. And then, yeah, I mean, that was one of the plays of all time.
So another punt now, forthcoming from Jimmy Smith. See if he can get him down to the 3 again. Now this one's going to come down at about the 13-yard line. I would have been very impressed if he was able to get it all the way down to the 3 from where he was punting from.
Yes, for sure.
So first down and 10 from the 32 now.
Yeah, and this is the chance for Los Angeles to put more separation between them and Charlotte. So we take the Swifts on numbers 21 of 28, having a sensational night.
No, absolutely. And I mean, if they're able to score another touchdown, that arguably might put this one to bed. Fowler hit in the backfield, can't regain his footing. Stumbles for a loss of 5. 2nd down and 15.
Yeah, those are the plays that, kill drives. Those 5-yard losses, 2nd and 15. Now Charlotte is in pass defense mode, and they can just fully focus on that.
Second down and 15 after a loss on the play. Parrish having a little pep talk on the sideline with the defense. Handing this one off again and hitting the backfield for the 2nd time. This time able to regain a little bit and gain 2 on the play. 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, 3rd and 13. I mean, you may take a couple of long routes and then just a couple of drags, maybe a swing or something like that, and just take something open, whatever that is.
Swift on 3rd and 13 goes up top and almost throws a pick 6. Joey, that was a prime opportunity for Charlotte to get some points back on the board. Passes swatted down at least, bringing up a 4th down. Look at this replay.
Yeah, and that looked like reasonably open a second before he threw the ball. You just took way too long. Almost a pick 6.
Oh, well, you could see it on that, not that last camera angle, but the one right before it. If Murphy had picked that off, there was not a Aztec or offensive player in sight. There wasn't an Aztec anywhere to be seen in that shot. Another, the backspin on some of these punts. Hits the ground and rockets backwards for 10 yards.
We've seen some, very, interesting punting techniques. We've seen those backspins, and we saw the ball that just died at the 3-yard line. I don't know what type of technique was that, but the ball just kind of bounced and dropped like a bowling ball.
It absolutely is. As Clements decides to keep it himself, picks up 3. He actually does have a decent rushing average. I believe it's averaging 6 yards per carry this season when he rushes. So far tonight, not getting quite that amount. Play action, defense on a blitz though, and sacked. Morales Woods with the sack.
Yeah, this defense has made big plays all throughout this ball game. Play action and just coming off his blind side comes Woods. I mean, Morales Woods completely unblocked. And if it wasn't him, it was probably going to be Rie, who's had just a sensational game, sensational season. Yeah. Really up there for league MVP.
First sack on the season for Miguel Morales Woods. Clements with a 3rd and 12. Throws past the line to gain, gets the catch, steps out of bounds, and gets the 1st down. Great way to convert the play by James Cooley.
Great protection clean pocket, great throw and a great route. Toe drag swag, left sideline, and a first down. That's one way to get out of a jam.
Drive stays alive for the Royals. Clements in the gun, flanked by a running back to either side. Final minute of the third quarter ticking away. Clements under pressure by 4 defenders and is literally thrown to the ground for the sack. Scruggs with mean sack, Scotty Scruggs.
Yeah, now the pressure is getting, 4 guys. Come on. As Michael Torello will say, the offense went for lunch on that one. And Los Angeles had 0 sacks in the first half, now 2 in about 3 plays.
Yeah, and first sacks for both of those players. It was Morales Wood's first sack and now Scruggs' first sack, as they're looking to get this win for the Aztecs. Mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, coming off of a loss, still at 4-3. It's not like they're doing bad, but coming off of a loss on the season, they certainly wanted to bounce back and get a win. But they're currently 3rd in the Pacific Division. They're behind Fresno and, of course, division leader San Diego. So they really need a win to compete in a difficult Pacific Division.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Curtis averaging 85 rushing yards per game, only 17 tonight.
4 quarters in the books. One remains here from Los Angeles. The Aztecs out in front, 31-17. But the Royals, they've got the ball. They're not done yet. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Joey Ramos-Lynn. Thanks for joining us this evening here in Primetime. Clements going for it all on 3rd and 18, and it is batted away.
Batted away. Great defense right there by the Aztecs. They saw it on the last drive as Clements was just trying to put a ball up for grabs, as he's been doing pretty much all game, to be fair. Los Angeles has that one covered, and who would have thunk it? Swift's still the leading rusher for either team today. And he has not run the ball in 45 minutes of real time.
Yeah, it's been a very tough game for both of these teams in that run category. I know you mentioned earlier on Curtis averaging 85 rush yards per game. He's only got 17. Oh, got another backspin punt. These teams are crazy. But listen, both teams can punt like you wouldn't believe. We at least have that going for us. Yeah. That was after a whole first quarter of no punts.
Yes, exactly. The punting game has been absolutely on point so far. But right now, Swift has to understand the game at this point. Do not put the ball in harm's way. Your defense is playing great. Just make sure to find the open receiver, connect with the open receiver, and not try to force anything out.
Swift continues to find those open receivers, as he's done pretty well. He has thrown that interception, but for the most part, he's read the defense very well and gotten his offense in good positions to keep on moving the ball. Fowler obviously struggling in this one. Hasn't had a ton of rushing yards. Right on cue, he's able to pick up a few there. He runs forward for 4 yards. While it can certainly be frustrating for a guy like Fowler, he averages 94.3 yards per game, which is 7th best in the league. So that's pretty good. 7th best out of 32 teams. I'd take that any day of the week. And now picks up a first down as he's starting to turn it on here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and I think it's more so Charlotte's game plan defensively than anything that Fowler is doing wrong. They keying on him, and they've been doing so the whole game. And case in point, the receivers are still pretty open downfield.
Swift over the middle continues to do what he does best, and that's find wide open targets. These crossing routes are working really well. It's allowing him to just read that zone coverage and pick it apart.
Yeah, and it's just been those dig routes. It's just been those drags. Anything coming across middle of the field, the linebackers are just not reacting to it, and the safeties are backed up a little bit too far.
Iggy in the chat says, "Give me those." First down and 10 now from the 46. Bunch to the bottom. Fowler runs up the middle, and see, case in point right there, Joey.
Yep.
Is it Fowler's fault that the defense is just so darn good at stopping the run?
Yeah, no, exactly. And
There's
this is a
only
good
so
team
much you can do. Yeah.
This is a good team in Charlotte. I mean, they game plan for him.
Oof.
And for Noel, too.
Yeah, Noel tackle for a loss there. Third down and 13 now.
Yeah. And again, you have a 2-possession lead. A little bit under 9 minutes left. You know, you can show about 4 wide receivers, have 1, maybe 2 run past the sticks, and another couple of receivers just, you know, running underneath.
Set, ready, 50, clear.
Swift in the shotgun on third down and 13. Charlotte desperate to get this ball back as time is starting to slip away from them. Pass down to the sideline, trying to get it just, I guess, back to the ball boy as they're getting ready to punt.
Yeah, I guess so. That's really been kind of like the only way in which the Axis receivers have not been able to be wide open is, you know, the sideline or the back end of the end zone when we saw that interception. So good stop here by the Charlotte defense, and they will have another shot.
Joey, that ball quite literally headed right back to the locker room.
Yes.
It went right down the tunnel. It was like, you know what? There hasn't been any offense by either of these teams. I'm done. I'm heading out. It went down the tunnel into the locker room. It's currently getting changed. It's going to head home. The ball is out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've just, both offenses have just...
They've just sputtered out. We've seen nothing in the past quarter.
Yeah, and it's just neutral. I mean, it's not even like terrible plays like, you know, pick sixes or something like that. It's just nothing. It's just nothing happening.
Some crazy punts. Crazy punts is what we've been able to see. Oh, Clements under pressure. Down he goes. Sacked on the play, and that's definitely not what they needed.
Yeah, it's McKelly Foraker with a sack. That's a huge play as Charlotte will be backed up inside their own 5-yard line. I mean, you cannot take those tackles for losses. I mean, now it's going to be second and forever. 13th sack of the year for McKellar Foraker, who leads the league. And it's crazy. McKellar Foraker, again, in contention for being Defensive Player of the Year this season. In the SFL, another McKellar Foraker, maybe Defensive Player of the Year of that league, too.
Clements out of his own end zone. Throws that one complete. But a third down and 20 as the offenses continue to go the wrong way. Michaela Forker trying to put an end to this one with that sack, saying, "Hey, it's past my bedtime. I want to get out of here." Clements throws, batted around, and incomplete. Both teams had a few shots at that one. Falls to the turf, 4th and 20.
Yeah.
And the offensive sputtering continues.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a whole lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and 20. And McKellar Foraker, the defensive tackle, was back there trying to get her paws on it. Look at the hustle by number 32.
Yeah. Just like in an alternate universe, I can pick the ball off. 4th and 20, the offense stays out there from their own 6. With a lot of time left in the game. And it's a turnover on downs from the 6.
Yeah, very surprising. Very surprising. We probably can get Cameron Irvine in here, but I would have punted that one away, honestly, Mike. You know, 4th down and 20. I mean, if it was 4th and 2, maybe, but 4th and 20, you know, considering how both offenses have just completely gone, you know, to the locker room, essentially, you have to trust your defense to get one more stop. Let's bring in Cameron Irvine. Cam, you know, 4th and 20 from inside the 10-yard line. You know, kind of surprising for Charlotte to have gone for it.
Yeah, we have it in there that 4th and 6 or less, when you're down by multiple scores in the 4th quarter, you go for it. But on a 4th and 20, as Fowler almost got in, I'm not really sure what part of the code that's pulling from. So that's just another thing we're going to have to take a look. We have not actually had to adjust any code in over 2 weeks because we've had such good football. And now here we are with 2 great teams in prime time. And, you know, it's the only thing we're talking about is crazy punts and what the hell's going on out there. So we're going to have to take a look at that. They definitely should have punted that away.
Fowler hit by 2 defenders behind the line of scrimmage, 29 yards now on the day. Yeah, don't adjust that punting code. The punts have been incredible, Joey.
Yeah, no, the punting has been terrific. We've seen backspins. We've seen a little bit of everything. We just need to see a fake punt just to make a complete game. Maybe they can fake. Maybe the Aztecs can fake punt here on 3rd and goal. What do you think?
Yeah, third and goal. Why not call it a punt formation? Nobody would expect it because everybody would be so confused on what is possibly about to happen. 3rd and goal, they'll stick to that 3 receiver look. Swift in the gun. Throws down to the bottom into the end zone, touchdown, and this one's all but over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great patience by Swift on that one, waiting until his receiver came open. Great protection. And that's really been the difference in this second half at least, Mike. It's been Charlotte's quarterback, Clemens, no time really to throw. Meanwhile, Swift has had the protection, and Fancher gets in for a touchdown clearly here with the pylon cam. And both teams, they got gifted the ball inside the 15-yard line with, some questionable things happening. So, no team benefited from the other.
Extra point is up and good. 38-17 now. A 3-play, 6-yard drive. So Aztecs well on their way to getting their 5th victory on the season. That'll certainly help them in their divisional standings as they want to try to keep pace with Fresno and San Diego.
Yeah, all 3 teams from Southern Cal just terrific this season, and all 3 of them in a very strong division have a chance to compete for a championship for sure.
5:55 to go here in the 4th quarter. Updated bingo numbers on the screen. If you're not playing bingo, you should be. It's a good way to get some free progression points and give you something else to do while you're listening to Joey and I ramble on about crazy punts. Kickoff drops down at about the 3. Decent return up to about the 31-yard line. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Joey Ramos-Lynn, Cameron Irvine, our AI expert and an idol of mine back at UFL Virtual Football Network HQ. That's right, I idolize him.
What about the job? What about the job here by the Aztecs here in the second half? I mean, at one point Clemens was like 10 of 14 passing, and now he's 17 of 33. Yeah. So just a great adjustment by Los Angeles.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Charlotte was hanging in there for most of the game. It looked like they may have been down early, and they were able to hang back in there. They'd get down 2 scores. Nice receiver play there by Abarazabo. Things just started to get away from them when LA's defense really stepped up and started doing a phenomenal job at just shutting down Clemens. And, now up by 21 points, 5 minutes to go. A little bit out of reach, but they're still going to keep on trying. As Clemens is going to take off with this one, gets to the 35, up to the 32, before being knocked out of bounds. Clock stops with 5 to go.
That's a whole lot of yards and a big hit just for 1 yard, but crucially does stop the clock with 5 minutes left.
And that's arguably even more important than the yard. I mean, if even if it was a 1 yard loss, just stopping the clock, letting him regroup, may be more valuable. Clemens, pocket collapsing, decides to run again, picks up 10, 15, almost 19 yards. Tackled inbounds, I believe. No, looks like the clock is stopped. So gets out of bounds again.
Yeah, good decision making by Clemens. Nobody open down the field. And we've been talking about it. The Aztec secondary has been locked down. Clemens able to get some decent yardage.
Ready. 90 Wolf.
First down and 10 from the 16. Yeah, go to the run. Joey, why? Curtis hasn't done anything all game. No offense, Chris. 10 rushes for 13 yards now, and that's just going to waste some clock.
Yeah, I mean, maybe trying to catch the defense off guard, but, you know, this is not the time to establish the run for sure.
Clements goes to the end zone, wide open in the back. Touchdown, Royals, and they get another touchdown on the board.
Wow. Very surprising. They left him that open, Calhoun, on the reception for a touchdown. They just forgot about him. They're just focusing on Cooley and Abrazobo, and they just left the third stringer completely open.
Now to get a look here at the toes from the pylon cam. Oh, yeah, dragging those feet. But where? I don't know. When did he have possession? We'll see if they take another look at this one. It was really close.
They should at least take a look at this when we see a booth review.
Booth review on its way.
Is under review.
And it just depends on when he had possession of the ball, because he definitely got those toes in. I think he has it. Right there, he's got the ball, and there's both feet down.
Yeah.
Both feet in the grass, at least. But did they make contact with the earth? We'll find out.
I think he did.
I agree. And the refs agree as well. Extra point on its way. 4:26 to go. Extra point is up and good. So now trailing by only 2 touchdowns. So, you know, not quite out of it yet. It still seems kind of out of reach. But there's still a chance. There's still time.
Yeah, there still is. I mean, I don't know if they're going to try an onside. They might try the onside kick. And if they are unable to convert, they just need a strong stop on defense, which is easier said than done, of course. But, 2 possessions with 4:26 left, the game is not fully over yet.
You know, that saying that you just said, easier said than done. Is there anything that exists that is not easier said than done? That's my philosophical question of the night for you, Joey. Is there anything that's easier to do than it is just to say you did?
Breathing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. Look at you. All right. Well, there you go. I thought the answer was no, but you got me. Touchback on the kickoff. Was not expecting that. All right, so it's up to the Royals defense now. They did get an interception earlier on in the ball game. Aztecs obviously with 3, including a pick 6. But that was all early on in the first quarter. Clements played clean since then. Now it's up to Swift and, of course, Fowler here to try to just take this one home for the Aztecs.
Yeah, I mean, what you're aiming for on this drive is to get a couple of first downs, right? Even if on the third chance you don't convert, you at least took 2 minutes off the clock, at least 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes off the clock, and then you just have to play some defense for the last minute of the game.
Foul, breaking tackles, and there he goes. I called that one earlier. Joey, I said he just needs to break one big run, and it's going to be a difference maker. Just like that, he's got 90 yards on the day, 55 yards after contact on that one. And that is all but going to end this one, Joey, as they're down in scoring range again.
Yes, he's protecting the football with his life on that one. Probably lost a step, just for the sake of protecting the ball, but great broken tackle there on the left-hand side. And just like that, he is just right on his average for the year after having a very, very tough game.
Swift fires clean out of the back of the end zone to the cameraman. Incomplete.
He was wide open.
The cameraman? He sure was.
Both of them.
Yeah, he just got a little too excited there about putting that final nail in the coffin. Swift throws over the middle inside the 10, churning those legs, gets up to about the 8-yard line. Swift now with over 300 yards on the day. See the stat line right there. 3rd down and 5.
He just wanted to get over 300, Maybe they're just going to run it here on 3rd and 5, and put the field goal on the board. Maybe he just wanted to get over 300.
I think so too. He's like, all right, I'm good. He probably has some sort of like incentive in his contract. He just made like an extra $50 or something.
Right.
He's like, all right, now we'll give it back to Fowler. 3rd and 5 from the 8, letting every second tick off that play clock. Fires it to the cameraman. Again, I don't think he realizes the cameraman's not an eligible receiver. 4th down, and they'll kick a field goal, but that field goal is going to make it a 3-score game once again.
Yeah, I mean, just completely errant throw. I know the cameraman is also wearing black, but
it gets confusing.
Yeah.
That ball was also heading down the tunnel to the locker room, to the parking lot, and going home. 41-24 with 2:21 to go. And that field goal, it doesn't negate the touchdown that Charlotte got on the last drive, but it makes it worth 3 points less. And that's really the ultimate backbreaker there, because if Charlotte had been able to get the ball back and was able to score quickly enough, it would have been a touchdown game. And then the onside kick does come into play. They get that back, and they're right back in business. But now being down 17 points, 2:21, I mean, I'm calling it out of reach right here. Is there a shot that Charlotte can get back in this one?
I mean, they need a miracle, and nothing short of a miracle. I mean, they literally need to return this kick for a touchdown.
Sure, yeah.
Because
it's going to be kicked short. Yep. The wind is at Charlotte's back right now. Field goal doesn't really help them, although, I mean, ironically, they could technically get a field goal on this drive and then say, okay, let's do the onside. Now we're only down 2 scores. Updated stat line for John Clements, 19-35, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. So he at least salvaged his touchdown to interception ratio and zeroed that back out. But Clements is going to need to get something going, and a 1-yard pass is not it.
No, and much less a half-yard pass. I mean, that did not even reach 1 yard, and we'll hit the 2-minute warning. Just like that.
2 minutes to go here from Los Angeles. The Aztecs have a comfortable lead, but Charlotte's got the ball. What will they be able to do with it? We'll find out. You're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Clements in the gun now on 2nd down and 10. Deep pass down the left side, double coverage, but that one is caught for a 1st down. Oh, no, incomplete. My bad.
Well,
3rd down and 10.
I was going to say that's one of the most impressive plays for Charlotte so far this game, but good job by the Aztec defense.
3rd and 10 now. Clements going to try it again. And said he's going to get sacked, brought down by Michaela Foraker. She got another one.
14 sacks on the season for Foraker. I mean, on pace for well over 20.
4th and 18. They'll, of course, go for it now. It makes more sense. They'll have to. In this case, Clements with all kinds of time throws so deep down the field. That one's incomplete. Turnover on downs. LA takes over on the Charlotte 26-yard line. Next up for Los Angeles, they are at 5-2 Phoenix, and then at 4-3 Albuquerque, and then they will be back in LA to host 5-1 Salt Lake. So a pretty tumultuous schedule coming up for LA as they play 3 teams all with winning records.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this was one of them. This is the first game out of a 4-game gauntlet with
sure
great football teams, and they just got past the first hurdle. So that's really good start here for Los Angeles.
Fowler back out onto the field, gets another big run as he hits the 100-yard mark. Where are you, John? Isaiah Fowler with 100 on the day. Next up for Charlotte, they've got a slightly easier road for the next 3 games. They're at 3-4 New Orleans, and then they will host 2-6 Cleveland, and then back on the road they go to Florida, who is currently 1-6. Play action as Swift wants to throw, pays the price as he fumbles the football again, his second fumble of the night, but both of them have been recovered by the Aztecs. So, you know, obviously Charlotte, their 3-game win streak will come to an end, but they will still be 500 on the season, which is not bad after starting 1-3. And those next 3 games all look winnable, at least. Not gimmies, but they all look winnable.
Yeah, and if they can come up with that, even 2-1, you know, they will have a winning record coming into the final stretch of the regular season, and anything can happen in the playoffs.
Play action again, and sacked again. What? Run the ball. What are they doing, Joey?
I don't know. Take a knee, like.
You know, maybe it's it's just Aztecs culture. Do you think it could be? You got the lead late in the game, and you're like, I'm just going to keep on throwing.
Yeah.
It's the Aztecs way.
I guess it is.
Much to the head coach's dismay, I'm told. But the Aztecs of Los Angeles able to hold on and get the win, as this one has hit zeros on the clock. The LA Aztecs getting the win over the Charlotte Royals, bringing their 3-game win streak to a close, and LA, after losing last week, they're able to get back in the win column and maintain that winning record, now advancing to 5-3 on the season. Charlotte falls to 4-4. LA's schedule ahead looks brutal. Charlotte's looks a little bit more manageable. As we look at final stats of this one, Joey, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, great game by Los Angeles, especially in the second half, where they were just able to really put the foot down and dominate. You know, defensively, they did a great job putting pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, Charlotte, aside a couple of plays, they really just couldn't throw the ball downfield either. So we saw the good Los Angeles Aztecs in tonight's ball game. And for Charlotte, I mean, that breaks a 3-game winning streak, but it's still a good team. And again, as you said, with 3 manageable games that look like winnable games, they should be favored on all 3 games. I think they, you know, their season is in good shape still.
Absolutely. You know, they'll bounce back. You know, LA certainly still in contention for that Pacific Division title, as you know, we are approaching the midway point of the season. Both teams still looking pretty good as the season continues on. This has been a presentation of the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. LA gets the win. For Joey Ramos, Lynn, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who's always with all 3 of us in spirit. Thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have yourselves a great night. We'll see you next time.